Hello, good afternoon. My name is Mohammed. Today I'm going to help you guys explain and understand how to apply for the Bridge and Tunnel Officer exam number 5606. This exam is basically for people that are applying to become a BTO officer in front of bridges and tunnels. A lot of people do get confused of what they are. Basically, anytime you see an officer in front of a bridges and tunnel in New York City, such as Barry Tunnel, RFK Bridge, Midtown Tunnel, they are all bridge and tunnel officers. Their job is basically to see if the tunnels and bridges are safe. If there's any type of road work, like if there's an accident, they tow away disabled vehicle. This is a requirement. My thing is to explain to you guys what it is, how they apply, what they need. So I'm just gonna help you guys explain to basic part. Now, before you guys begin, this type of work, this type of requirement, they give you every few years. They'll want somebody, they want the exam might come in and they might tell you, okay, we need officers to go and take the exam. The exam at this time, 2014, a lot of people that went into it, it was $47, non-refundable. Make sure everything's correct, your name is correct, your date of birth is correct, everything you apply, everything's correct, so you don't have to worry about it. It's a multiple choice questions, and the test date, they give you everything. So sometimes they do change the state, so just let you know, be careful what it is. Sometimes they'll mail you something like telling you, this is your test date. If you don't hear from them within a week or two, before this date, make sure you call them up just to double check, because you never know, maybe you misplaced the letter and everything. They will not try to call you or anything like that, so they might email you. That's the only thing they do. They will not call you, to let you know, to give you a heads up. Now, the job description is right over here. The Bridges and Tunnel Officer, under supervision platform, perform various duties concerned with vehicle trafficking on the bridges and tunnel facilities, or MTA bridges and tunnels in New York City. They collect tolls, resolve problems in easy pass traffic lanes, interact with customers, and provide assistance such as giving travel direction and traffic information. Basically, they're telling you what their whole job description is. In special working condition, they explain to you bridges and tunnel officer may be required to work various shifts, including nights, Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. May include mandatory overtime. So basically, they're telling you how much is, what the job description of being an MTA police officer is going to be as a bridge and tunnel officer. The current minimum salary for bridge and tunnel officer is $34,000. That's what it is. It's for annual increasing to $41,000 after 11 weeks of training. So obviously, they tell you this is 11 weeks of training. Incumbent will receive salary increment reaching $65,000 per annum after completion of 5 years of employment. These rates are subject to change. Basically, after 5 years, that's the maximum that you're gonna get, unless they change the requirements, meaning that they upgrade. They have a new pension plan, they have a new plan and everything. Maybe at that time, this was the maximum 5 years after you do it. It's gonna be, that's what they're gonna give you. How to qualify? You need to have at least a 4-year high school diploma or educational equivalent, which means you have to have a GED or something that is equivalent to high school. Basically, if you were outside of high school, make sure you get it translated by one of the services that they have. Globe is one of the services where you could translate your degree. Make sure it comes out to 4 years of high school. If not, then do your GED to have that. This is what they want you to do. When they mean by date of appointment, is meaning when they call you, you're supposed to have a high school degree. Meaning that if you take the test, it's not going to be an issue. But once they call you for an appointment, you have to have at least a 4-year high school diploma. The minimum age is 18 years of age as to being appointed. Again, meaning that if you start working, you need to be 18 years of age. If you're young, your basically appointment is going to be terminated, and you will have no further opportunity. Meaning that if you're less than 18, by the time they call you, if you're less than 18, they're not gonna take you. So it's gonna be another requirement for this. Now, the driving license requirement at the time of appointment, you must possess a Class B or a driving license in the state of New York with an A3 restriction and endorsement for air brakes and tow truck. Your CDL cannot have any disqualifying restriction that would preclude the performance of the duties at this time, or a motor vehicle driving license valid in New York State. Which means that if you don't have a CDL license, they will hope you get one, meaning they will train you for getting the CDL license. They will do anything in their path to help you. There's going to be a medical and psychological assessments to that as well. So make sure, if you make sure you're clean, you don't have any type of like any type of like what I'm looking for, like medical problems inside or anything like that. I mean, they will do a medical and psychological assessment. They can be doing a drug screen requirement. A lot of people that like you work in an environment where or like let's say if you're a process server where you have to deal with people serving people in buildings, and this a lot of times people do drugs and you are inhaling it. That becomes a problem when you go to take a drug test. That might come in your drug test, so you don't like make sure basically your everything is clean with you. So that's what they do, the drug test. If you do any type of illegal drugs, if they do, they're gonna find out we're doing the drug test. Some places do drug tests by taking your hair sample, which is accurate. Some people do urine tests. Depending on every one of these requirements is going to be different. There's going to be a physical test. You will require to pass a physical test to be compared to this position, meaning they're going to make you do some type of physical work to see if you're able to. These are all pre-employment, basically, before you get an appointment. And they're going to make a citizen requirement. You must be a citizen of the United States before you be appointed. Basically, you have to have a U.S. passport or you're a citizen in order to become an appointment. Character and background check. Basically, they might do a social media check on you, make sure everything is correct. You're not doing any type of illegal things on social media, or you're not doing any type of activity that might prolong you to become a BTO officer. Basically, that's what's it gonna be. A background check to make sure if you don't have any type of warrants or any type of criminal arrest that might disqualify you. I remember something that not every arrest doesn't mean that if you're arrested, that doesn't mean that they're gonna disqualify you. Maybe they might ask you for a deposition if that was the reason for the arrest, if you can clear the charges for good behavior or etc. That's one of the things. Residence requirement: you must be a resident of the state of New York. You are appointed to this position. You must English requirement: you must be able to understand in English. Proof of identity: under the Immigration Reform and Control Act 1956, you must be able to prove your identity and your right to obtain employment. Basically, make sure everything's correct. How to do that? How to obtain an application? You basically go over here. You have to go to the MT's website and fill out the application form and everything, and they're gonna let you know what it is. Or you could just go to the MT Exam Information Center from this timing to this time, and they'll be able to help you out. Application: make sure you follow all instruction, and what they mean is you make sure you follow all instruction, everything's correct. They actually tell you how to apply for the application and pay for the fee. Read through it. You can pick a check or money order. You could pay by credit card. That's the most convenient way of doing it. Or your bank, or your checking. You could do automatic checking for your deposit. That's one of the most convenient way. Or you could just do a cash or money order. That's one way of doing it too. You're supposed to once you do all that, once you're cleared, you're gonna get an admission letter, which means that please do me a favor, guys. If you do get accepted, take this admission letter and take it to the place where you're going to go. Without this, they want to let you in. The test, obviously, they're going to tell you have to have a 70% of passing to take the test. This is going to be all the requirements, and everything will be in written comprehension, written expression, memorization, problem sensitivity, number facility, mathematic reason, deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, informing order. All this will be in part of the test. Basically, like there's certain questions going to be on written comprehension, certain questions they're going to be having mathematical reasoning. Basically, it's going to be part of, like they're going to make up the questions, multiple choice questions, all on all these things. Writer identification: you're required to bring one form of valid, non-expired. Make sure the ID is not expired. If it is, then they have a chat. They have the right to tell you that we cannot take your step. You have to have a non-expired driving license or any type of ID. Make sure that it's not expired. Signature and photo bearing identification to the test site, which means that have to have your signature and your photo on it. No notary license, nothing else that doesn't have your photo. Make sure you have a photo. So, basically that's what they need when you go there. If you pass, your name will be placed in the final score eligible list, and you will give them a list number. Basically, what will happen is your exam is going to be 5606. Your list number is going to be 300, which means that there's 299 people ahead of you. So that's what the list number is supposed to mean. Additional information: there's a promotional opportunity, there's investigation. You will be investigated to appointment and pay a fee of $75 for fingerprint screening, which means that the investigator is going to ask you questions like what your employment was, and everything, to make sure if your character is okay. There's going to be a probational period for 18 months. You're basically a peace officer training, and you're going to have a firearm qualification because you're going to have a gun when you go apply for this. The special test accommodation for people with disabilities. You can look into this. They will always help you out regarding that part. And then if you have this special arrangement, they also do makeup tests if the people, like for certain circumstances, I mean, this is for really certain circumstances. Basically, like these are the one of the options. Like let's say absence due to order military, a clear error from what examination agency is responsible. Like if their error in their part, they will give you a temporary disability, pregnancy related. Like if you're pregnant, if you have a childbirth, basically they'll give you some accommodations or special arrangement for that. All crossbreeding, including the submission of application, must be sent to the following address. This is basically the address. If they have any other questions, you could just send them in, mail them or whatever the question you need to send them. Send them this. Penalty for mispresentation basically is all self-explanatory. Now that's how you guys apply for the MTA Bridges and Tunnel Officer. My job was to just explain to you what the exam is, how it is interpreted. People do not really understand it when they read through it. So my job was to make sure to help you guys understand what the question was asking, what they needed. If you have any other questions about this, please like, comment, subscribe, email me. My email is mkconvenienceBrokerage@gmail.com. I'll gladly accept your email and I reply to you as much as I can. That's about it. Thank you for your time, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If any other question, I'm gonna have more videos on other topics as well. I'll gladly, it'll be an honor to help you guys out. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it and have a beautiful day.